Welcome to the Aaron Katzman Show. I'm your host, Aaron Katzman. We speak about your life, your money, and your investments. And as always, we're coming to the spiritual and soon-to-be financial capital of the world, Jerusalem, Israel. If you like this content, please hit the like button below. If you've not yet done so, please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and to the podcast. And if you actually think somebody is going to benefit from some of this information, there's no law that says you can't hit the share button below and share it with them as well. So I had an interesting call this week. It was a young adult calling to say that they're about to start. They got my number from their parents, who actually happen to be clients. And they had just signed, they were just about to start a job in high tech locally here in Israel, and they were going to start making a lot of money. High tech is a good, solid profession where you come right out of school and you do very, very well. And they wanted to know what they should do with their money, right? How should they live? They're finally on their own. They've got a couple of roommates, but they're living on their own, renting. And now they suddenly came in, they're going to be coming into more money than they need. What should they do? And they started out by saying, well, my friend bought a car, so should I do that? And, they're buying appliances and they're doing all this kind of stuff. What should I do? So the first thing I said, first of all, don't do anything. Okay. Get your paycheck first. Before you start spending all the money which you've not yet earned, go to work and then get the actual paycheck so you actually have money in the bank. Don't start spending money that you don't have. And there's an importance to that phrase, spending money that you don't have, or don't spend money that you don't have, which is going to come back, I'm going to touch on in a few minutes. But if you haven't even gotten a paycheck yet, don't run down to the auto dealership and make, a down payment, or don't, buy an apartment, okay, or a house. Wait till you actually have money in the bank. Then figure out what to do, okay? So that's just basic step number one. But don't start off on your left foot because, you finally got a job. Why would you start off and put yourself into debt right off the bat, okay? So don't spend anything until you actually get a paycheck. That's rule number one. Then you don't have to change your life completely just because now you have a job, okay? You look at your parents and, wow, my parents have this and they have that and they have that and then they have. Keep in mind, it took them years or decades to get to that level. They didn't go ahead, buy a house, buy two cars, buy lots of furniture, buy all kinds of cool electronic gadgets, after they just started to work, right? It took them a long, long time to get to that level. So the first thing that you should do is create a budget, right? You said you're living with roommates, you're renting an apartment, figure out how much that costs you. Okay, you might want to add a little bit. When you were a student, you were struggling, maybe you didn't spend very much on entertainment, you didn't eat out. So here, maybe you can allow yourself a little bit to do that. Okay, but don't go gung-ho and say, oh, I'm just going to, go to restaurants 5 or 6 days a week. That's a pretty stupid plan, okay? You're going to want to create a budget, and then you'll know, right? Obviously, rent's going to probably be your biggest expense. And then from there, say, well, I'm making X. Okay, so I'm getting social benefits at work. So I'm already putting money into pension. I'm already putting money into, what we call here a Karen Hishtalmut. There, that's great. Those are, mid to long-term savings plans. But there's nothing wrong with you to say, okay, I'm going to take another 10% or 20%, whatever it is, of what I'm making now, because I don't have much in the way of expenses. And I'm going to put that away also. So maybe I'll be able to, take the express train to home ownership, right? If I save a lot now, I'm not saying become a hermit. I'm not saying don't go out with friends, don't eat out, don't enjoy yourself. I'm not saying that, right? I'm not saying to be one of these people who goes to work and then squirrels away every last penny that they make and they have no life. I'm not saying that, okay? You can be still the cool kid, but within reason, right? Don't be the stupid cool kid. Be the financially smart cool kid. So, go in entertainment, go to a game, go to a basketball game at night, go out with friends, whatever. That's all cool. You can do all of that, but be smart. You start putting away money above and beyond what you are getting paid in social benefits. Why would I say to do that? Because this is a unique time, right? You're single, you're not yet married. You have a chance to really, really save a lot of money pretty quick, which you're not going to do once you settle down and you have a family. And then savings becomes a lot harder. So you can take advantage of that. You can, like I said, you don't have to buy an apartment while you're single, but you can squirrel away enough money that you have, a decent amount that you can put down for an apartment when it is that you find that right one and you go and get married, right? If you buy an apartment now, there's a good chance when you get married that your significant other is not going to be happy with your choice and is going to want to buy something new anyway. To make that plunge might be beneficial, might not be, right? I know people who rent apartments, who buy an apartment, right? They save money, they buy an apartment, and then they take a couple of roommates. And basically those roommates are not only paying for the mortgage, but he's making a little bit of money on the, above and beyond that. That's actually a great way to start building wealth. But you've got to build up a little money to hit that down payment. But that's not a bad idea either. But the first thing, like I say, and then save. Right? You can save for down payment, or you can do some long-term saving, right? Put money, you're young, so you have, your life's ahead of you. Get yourself, if you have any student loan debt, any other debt, get rid of it. But assuming that you don't, start saving. Put your money into the market, right? It doesn't have to be in Bitcoin. It doesn't have to be in the latest hot stock, right? You can just track the market, index funds, market-based ETFs, whatever it is. I've given primers on those types of assets in the past. So you can check out the YouTube channel and find it. Recently just I spoke about sort of an investing 101, speaking about different asset classes. So you can tune in there and find out that information. But the point is, invest. Don't just leave the money sitting in the bank, right? Invest that money. And if you can set up some kind of an automated saving situation where you put away 10, 15% above and beyond, again, above and beyond what you're already saving from work, into something that way you don't have to think about it, right? Out of sight, out of mind. Just automatically goes into, an index fund, goes into an ETF, whatever it is, and you're done, right? That's what we call paying yourself first. That's, before you even pay the rent, you make sure that X amount of money goes into medium and long-term savings. Then live according to your budget, right? And live. I'm not saying don't live. There are people out there, and there's this whole FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early, right? They get a job right out of school, and they're clipping coupons, and they're living in their parents' basement, and then they retire when they're 32, and they watch Netflix. That's not a life, okay? Life isn't just about hoarding as much money as humanly possible. Money is great. It's useful. It's needed. But life is there to be lived. So and you're not going to get that necessarily financial advice from all financial advisors, okay? But I'm a firm believer in living your life, creating memories, and you're put on this earth for a reason, right? To do good, to create, to conquer, right? All these different things, have a family, do those things. Don't just live in a basement and watch television for the rest of your life because you made it. You beat the system and you retired at 32. Congratulations, okay? That I don't know. That just doesn't speak to me. That's not much of a goal. You can live your life, but just be smart, okay? So that's what my advice was. Great, you got your first job, fantastic. Be responsible, that's all. You're now on your own. Don't be stupid. Don't run down to that auto dealership and buy a car that you can't afford. Wait, right? Save up some money. You can buy a car. Save up money and then buy a car. Buy a used car. You don't have to buy a new car, which is going to lose 10 or 20% of its value as soon as you drive it off the lot, okay? Buy a used car if you want, right? But make sure you have money to do that. Don't get into debt. You're in such a great situation. You've got roommates, you've got virtually no expenses, and you hit it big with a good, respectable, high-tech salary. Set yourself up for long-term financial success, okay? You've been tuning into the Aaron Katzman Show. We speak to you about your life, your money, and your investments. If you like this content, please hit the like button below. If you've not yet done so, please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and to the podcast. And if you think there's somebody else who's young who might actually find this interesting, go ahead and share it with them as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. Speak to you soon.